Hello, my name is Carlos Fuentes, and today I'll be showing you, or giving you an introduction to a program that I use to create my 3D models. The program that I use is called SpaceClaim, and I'll actually be showing you two different programs. I'll be showing you like uh, the full version of this CAD program called SpaceClaim, and also a free version called Design Spark. Um, if you want to download this free version, just to start out and get yourself acquainted with this CAD modeling program, you can start here. Just go to Google uh, and just type in Design Spark, and it should be the first like result that shows up. Um, in order to get to the download page, just go to the let's see here. Oh yeah, click here, and then download whatever version that you need. Here's the 32-bit, and the 64-bit. I already downloaded this program and I have it up and running right now. And you'll see it's just like any other 3D modeling application. There's no tabs for like rendering or uh, running any kind of simulation or anything like that. This is strictly a modeling program. Uh, my job is mainly just creating assets that get passed down along the pipeline. I'm strictly 3D modeling, so this program really works for me. After you download Design Spark and you open the program, this will be the first thing that you see. And I'll go ahead and start a new document here just to start fresh. Um, if you want to rotate the screen, you hold the Alt key and hold down the middle mouse button, and you can just rotate your work environment. Um, oops. If you hold the control button and the middle mouse button, you can zoom in and out. And holding the Alt and the Shift button and the middle mouse button allows you to pan the screen. So yeah, okay. So I'm gonna be talking about you know the features that I use. Um, you can see that there's not a lot of buttons here, but with these limited amount of tools, there's a lot of stuff that you can create, like all sorts of different geometry. Before I go deeper into this, I just want to quickly show you some of the work I've done using CAD programs. It'd probably be possible to do this like in another program, like let's say Maya or 3ds Max, but one of the benefits about CAD is that you know uh, you have a lot of precision. um, yeah, everything here is like perfectly straight, just like you'd see in like the real world. um, Engineers, people who design uh, components used in the automotive and defense industry. These are the programs they use. Um, so here's just a couple more shots. You can see here, it's everything is pretty clean. There's no like overlapping geometries. Nothing's intersecting. Um, yeah, everything's pretty solid. And I think I'd probably I think this took like a little while to model. It didn't take too long though. I think if I were to model it in another program, it would have took me a lot longer because you have to add all of the uh, make sure that your edges and your vertices are all like clean and stuff, or else you get like these weird like effects on your model. But you can see things really flush, clean. Just a couple more shots here. Okay, so I have some other models, but this one here is like, one of my most complicated pieces that I can show. I have have some other stuff, but I can't, fortunately, I can't show it. Okay, so let's get started. First, I'll be starting off with the sketch tool, which um, this is the primary. These tools here are the primary tools that you'll be using to create geometry. Uh, and I use these buttons like a ton. I mean, this is like 90% of the workflow right here. If you want to create stuff like what I just showed you. So I'll just start really quick here with just creating a line. Uh, and also, I just want to mention that I'll try to explain all of these features as much as I can. But if you want to get more information on it, you just hover your mouse over the button, and it'll give you just a summary about how the tool works. And you can also press the F3 button, and it'll play a GIF file showing you, how the tool works. Okay, so just click on that here, and add a few lines. If you've ever used SketchUp, then I think you'll get the hang of this here really quickly, because these programs, well, it works similar, in the sense that you draw using lines, and you create these closed profiles. So here you see that I drew just a really simple shape. Um, it's closed off, but you see this like little line here, hanging out. And when I go into this 3D mode right here, um, now I have this maybe like a surface patch, and this extra like line here that wasn't needed to close off the profile, it went into a folder called curves. And for me, that's pretty comes in handy. Okay, so now that I have this profile, I can just click on it just like you would in SketchUp, and just pull out the face, and there you go. Now you have a solid body. Okay. Now that we have a solid body to work with, we can go in and start using some of these tools. Uh, the pull tool, which will add fillets. You can also move the faces out a little bit more. You could even you can manually enter the length of how much you want the face to pull in or out. Let's see here. I'll go back to the sketch tool. I'm gonna click on that, and if you notice that when you click on the sketch tool, you're gonna see this grid appear. You're only able to draw like on a 2D surface. Um, I'll go more into like 3D sketching in a little bit, but I just want to keep it pretty simple for now. But like I said, you'll see this grid here, which will give you it's like an indication that you can start drawing on this surface. So I'll do that. Clicked on my line tool, and then clicked on the face that I want to draw on, and I'm just going to start adding another line here. Also, what I like about just CAD modeling in general is that you always end up with those really straight lines. Here you see that if I were to draw this like if these lines are not parallel, I can go ahead and do that. But if I want to make sure that these two lines here are perfectly parallel to each other, just move the mouse, and it'll like lock, and you see that this line here, it turns green, letting you know that the two lines are parallel to each other. Okay, so that's done. We can go ahead and return to the 3D mode so that we can manipulate the geometry further. Okay, now I have these two faces. Go in and I can pull it up to add geometry. I can pull it down to cut some geometry. You see that's pretty simple. And just want to show you something else here. Show you what happens when you don't fully close off the your sketches. So I'm not gonna click here. I'm just gonna click on some area and then finish up my sketch. Then go back to 3D mode, and you see now that because it's not fully closed off, I can't replicate the same feature that I just did right now. So that's why it's important to make sure that your sketches are clean. And just like I showed you earlier, this the line, if it's not part of the solid body, then it'll go into a curve folder. And if I want to fix this, I can just go back here and go to the sketch mode, which is right here, and click on the end of this point here, and then use the move tool, which it should be pretty easy to find there. You can just move that out, and now I have the closed profile. And if you don't want to get this, you don't want to end up with these extra curves when you go return to your 3D mode, you can use the trim tool, which is right here, and just click on the edge that you want to delete, and that's done. I mean, and you can any sketch that you have in this mode right now, you can delete it, and okay. It's really simple. I'm sure you'll probably know what these buttons are for, but I'll just go through them really quick. I'll click on the face and then click on the rectangle tool and just draw a rectangle. And you see here that the grid is on this surface here. If I want to draw something down here, I can't, because you can only draw on the 2D plane. But if you want to draw here, I mean, that's really simple. I'll show you how to do that right now. Let's see, we'll just add a couple more sketches here. Here's the I don't really use the spline tool too much. I guess if you use or create those automotive shapes, this may really come in handy. You have the 3-point circle tool. I use that sometimes. Of course, you have your arc tool. If you want to create some complicated sketches, then you can use multiple sketch tools, and once you are done with your sketch, then you can go back into this use this trim tool to kind of clean up your sketch a little bit, and I use this feature a lot. Okay, so now that we're done with that, we can go in here and that's it. I mean, it's just simple as that. Let's see here. This seems like a pretty cool feature here. Honestly, I haven't really used this button here, but I mean, I'm sure I can find some pretty good uses for it. We'll probably come back to that later on, because that seems like it's a pretty complicated tool. Uh, okay, so oh yeah, let me show you a little bit more of these sketch tools here. Let's see, let's go back into our sketch mode. Let's just click this button here, and just gonna double click on this this edge here, and it can create like a offset curve. And this comes in handy, for adding details to your model. And there's some like parameters that you can edit. I don't really use this a whole lot because like the way that the default tool is set up, I mean it just works for me. Um, but if you want to need to work on some more complicated designs, then you can start looking into this here. But yeah, see, it's really simple. And you're not limited to just uh, this clicking on a plane. I mean, you can click on like pretty much any face here, and just draw a sketch. And you see here that this line here and these two edges, they make a closed profile. So I can then just hide this here, and now you have a like a surface patch. Let's see. And right now, I mean, everything looks pretty blocky, but you can definitely go in and start adding some nice detail, like here. Just click on this edge here. I'm going to use the pull tool, which will create a fillet and just rounds out the edge here. I use that feature quite a lot. And you can go in and start get some clean edges here. There's also a chamfer tool. You just click on the edge, and you have the fillet or the round tool, and you also have the chamfer tool. So I'll just select the chamfer, and I'm going to click on this arrow to create my chamfer. And see, I mean, you're when you start like when you go use your chamfer, I mean, this is pretty hard to explain, but like in other programs, when you have the polygons, when you try to do stuff like this, like the mesh will kind of like, I don't know, it'll start to like break, and you start getting these weird like artifacts. So with this here, I mean, you're not limited to polygons, um, you can really like do some really cool stuff here. And let's say like I don't like this here. I can very easily just click the this fill button right here, and it'll delete the feature. And if I double click, it'll select the entire fillet, and I can just click this fill button, and it'll delete that. So just think of this button here as like sort of your delete feature tool. Um, if you start working on a model and you see that you need to like go back and make some changes, then you can use this button here and just remove the detail. I've used some other programs before, and I don't think that this feature is available in those other programs. And for me, this tool is like comes super super in handy. Okay, so we'll continue on here. Just show you uh, how the tools, kind of effect they have. Some you see here that I got like an error. I wasn't able to create a fillet here, and it's probably because like the like these points here where they meet, it just probably would not work. So I can make that a little bit smaller here and add the round again, and there it's done. Okay. Just going back to these sketch tools, you have the ellipse tool, and you also have the your polygon tool. You can if you want to make like if you want to add more sides, just hit the tab button, and it'll take you to the sides uh, input. You can oops, type in 7. There you go. Let's see here. I mean, I think that pretty much covers it for the. Actually, you know what? Let me show you one more uh, feature right here, since it's in the sketch. So I'm gonna click on this face here. I'm gonna click on the sketch mode, and once you go into sketch mode, you see here that your grid you can move it, and you can draw your sketch pretty much anywhere you want. I can rotate this down like this here, and I'm gonna draw my sketches. It's very simple. I mean, you just have the your I don't know what this tool is called. Maybe call it a gimbal or something. I don't know. But you just click on these uh, like curves here, and you can rotate it, just like you would in any other 3D modeling program. So go back into sketch mode. Use the move grid button here. Just move our grid out a little bit. Now, if I want to like, you know, align the camera with this grid here, I can just click this button here, and now it's perfectly straight on. Okay. Now, if you see here, this is a curved surface. I'm gonna draw a circle here. Okay, You see how it's not directly on the face or this curved face here. I'm gonna go back into 3D mode, and now I'm going to project this surface onto this curved face here. And this comes in handy too when you want to add some detail to your curved face. I'm going to select the project to sketch tool. I'm going to click the face here. Yeah, actually, you know what? Oh, here it is. Sorry about that. So yeah, if you want to project a curve or a line or anything onto a curved face, and you want to select this project button. So I want to select the face that I want the sketch to be projected onto. I'm gonna select my face, and now you see that this this circle is now projected onto the surface. Now I complete the, the command and select this face here, and do some editing on it. That's that. And if I don't like that, just go into this. I can do Control Z, or I can select the faces and use the fill command to remove them. Okay. Now I'm going to end this video here in just a bit, and we'll move on to the next thing. I just want to show you just a couple more commands here. So I'm going to use this construction line, and this just helps to make your your sketches like straight. It's kind of it's just like just what it is. It's a construction line. It's not a curve, so when you return to the 3D mode, these will not be you know like lines that you can edit. They just help. They assist in drawing, and I'll show you and how they can come in handy. So now I have like the circle uh, tool selected, and I can move my mouse over this construction line and draw a circle, and the next circle I draw will be perfectly aligned with this other circle that I drew. And this button here, the tangent line, also comes in handy. I'll show you how you can use it here. Okay. Now I'll go here and use the trim tool to, and I don't have to do this. You can work like that. And, have the little bit of a messy sketch, but it'll work just fine. And so there it goes. If I want to align this face here to this one, all I have to do is just select the face, and there's a button here called up to. It will move the face up to the other face that you select. So with my face selected, I click this button here, and then I want to move it up to here, and that's that. I can select this face here and move it up to here. I'm starting to see here like we got a little bit of issues here. That's why, as explaining earlier, that it's important to make sure that your sketches are very clean. Otherwise, you end up with stuff like that. Let's see, I mean, I think so far, what I've showed you is not too complicated. Um, and I mean, this is all what CAD modeling is. It's just drawing profiles, and one sketch by itself is not going to be very complicated. But when you start, you know, indenting and adding fillets and details everywhere, your component starts to get a lot more you know complex, and it'll start to look a lot more interesting. Just going in here, just adding some fillets and stuff here, um, which is look very nice here. So I mean that's pretty much it. I mean you have all these tools here. They're just designed for you know creating those construction, or those lines that you'll use to either cut or add geometry. Okay. All right. So that sort of concludes for the sketching part of this tutorial. Um, I'll give you a few minutes so that you can just play around with it here, and we'll start moving on. Thank you.